This is probably not the episode to watch if you're sensitive about your club, because we are going to be hammering some clubs. We're going to be showing some affection to some clubs that we normally wouldn't, potentially.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. So let's get into this. We're starting with the NRL 2026 predictions. I know you don't like to start with the crescendo, so maybe we go bottom four teams for 2026.
Yep, that sounds like a great plan.
You like that?
Yeah, sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here you go. NRL 2026 season, bottom four teams. Doug, who do you got?
Alrighty, my bottom four NRL teams this year may come as a surprise to some, but not for me. In fourth last would be 14th or 15th place. We established this yesterday.
I think it's 14th.
Let's just say 14th.
Yeah.
In 14th, I have the Manly Sea Eagles. I think that Luke Brooks' time has come at Manly. I believe the up-and-comer is Joey Walsh. He looks sharp in the trials. I just think that Luke Brooks isn't the guy to be steering the ship with the departure of DCE, which is obviously a big blow to them. And like I said earlier, finally somebody else in the rugby league space agrees with me in saying that Jake Trbojevic in his soundproof helmet is not up to NRL quality of football. He hasn't been good. The fact that he captained our state once upon a time burns me to a T.
Yep.
And I just think that I'm glad that Seabold left him out of Manly's best 30-man squad for their trial against South Sydney. And yeah, I just think that they're going to have nothing to play for this year. Fogarty is a good signing, but will he fit into the Manly team? I don't think so. I think there's things going off the ground there. Just not doing it for me this year, Manly, unfortunately.
And do you think Seabold sees out the year?
I think Seabold sees out the year.
Okay.
I don't think it's a Seabold problem. I think it's a Manly problem. I think it's a playing group issue.
Fair enough.
Around the three musketeers being the Troy brothers, who all three of them no good. Wouldn't play in South's first grade side, let me tell you that for sure. All right, in 15 we have Newcastle. And you might ask me, Doug, what's new in the castle? And the answer to that is nothing, because they are still boring and they are still very reliant on a small group of players. Depth is a serious issue at Newcastle, especially in their forwards. Dylan Lucas looks promising, although they lose Kai Pearce-Paul to the Tigers.
Yep.
He had a bit of X factor about him at times, Kai. And he's gone to the Tigers. I mean, I just look at their forward pack. It feels like it's the same names just going through in and out. Outside of our boy Phoenix Crossland, I just don't think there's a lot of...
Big respect.
Not much going on there. Again, reliant on KP if he plays one game, if he plays 10. Does he even want to be there? Me personally, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him. There's all to do in Newcastle other than catch the tram.
And hang out with the six Saifidi brothers.
That's true. Yep. But yeah, for me, Newcastle going nowhere in 2026. I think they're going to be hard to get out of this bottom four lineup.
Like it.
Second last, I've got the Gold Coast Titans, not to be mixed up with the great club Sutherland Titans, who have never lost a game in its history. Shout out Sutherland Titans. The Gold Coast Titans are with a new coach. Their halves pairing, whether it's going to be Brimson and Campbell or Cheney and Campbell, I feel like the Titans halves pairing are just forever changing. I know Cheney's never going to play 5'8" halfback, but knowing Gold Coast, he probably will at some stage.
And they got Ilias in the ranks too.
Of course.
They got Lockie Ilias
of course.
just hanging around.
That's what I mean.
Doing TikTok dances.
And outside of Tino, I just think they lack X factor. I think there's a few players in their squad who are a year or two away from being elite. They definitely are designed to score points.
Oh yeah.
In attack, they do look good, but I think, you know, in the second half of these 80-minute football games, the better sides are just going to run away with it, and they're just not defensively sound, in my opinion.
Sure.
And in last place, after seeing some of the worst football ever seen in the preseason challenge, this year's Wooden Spoon Club will be the St. George Illawarra Dragons.
Wow.
Mark my words.
Wow.
They played their best side against the mighty Red and Green Machine in the Charity Shield 2 weeks ago against a flag side. We put out a flag side against the Dragons, and they just showed no ticker. Absolutely nothing. I mean, I went through their entire list online last night, and no names got me semi-aroused at all. I just don't think they're going to have a lot to give this year. I mean, who have they signed that is a remarkable player this year?
Keon, but for next year.
That's right. But we're not talking
Yeah,
2027.
I know.
We're talking 2026.
I got nothing.
That's right. They're lackluster. I mean, is Emre Gula their starting front rower?
Yeah, the Turkish... I got nothing, just the Turkish bloke.
Delight.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, the Turkish delight, Emre Gula. And if he's your starting prop, say less.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be a tough old year for the Dragons. Not a lot of signs showing in Win Stadium for mine. And yeah, I just think that I'm up to it this year. Dragons Wooden Spoon, mark my words.
All right, and that is Doug's bottom four for the 2026 NRL season. I like it. There's a couple I agree with. Let's get into it. Here is my bottom four teams for the NRL 2026 season. Kicking off in 14th place, the Newcastle Knights. I agree with you on that one. There obviously is some good names littered throughout that side. Like, obviously, Ponga on his day is a gun. Mm-hmm. But he's hampered with head issues, concussion issues. He doesn't want to... I don't think he wants to be there.
Fletcher Sharp's been named at 5'8" for this week.
I like that.
Which is promising.
Yeah, that's a good sign, to be honest, because they've been talking about running Brown and Sandon Smith at the 6 and the 7 all year, all off-season, and then having Sharp come off the 14 or even on the wing or something like that. So it's good to see him in the 6. That's a good option for them, to be honest. And it looks like our boy Phoenix Crossan is the one that's got the... onto the pine, or maybe even the 13, or I don't know. There's just not. I just think they lack a little bit of quality in certain areas. Like, you got Dom Young and Marju on the wing. That might be the lowest IQ wing pairing in the entire competition.
Oh yeah,
and that's saying something. And then you got Dane Gagai. You know, he still has some decent footy, and in Bradman Best, great centre, but they're just lacking a forward pack, I think. And there's just a lack of quality compared to the rest. They suck offensively. We'll see what they've got defensively. They got a new coach. They got a new system. I think this is going to take some time to adapt. So I've got them 14th.
Yep.
In 15th, and this one pains me to say it, it's the Gold Coast Titans, because I do have a soft spot for the Gold Coast Titans.
You certainly do.
I think they have some quality in the ranks, and like you said, they're a great offensive team when they want to be. They score huge points because they've got some really explosive athletic guys like Keanu Kinney, Jaden Campbell, Brimo. They all kind of are like the same player effectively to me, where like on their day they're electric and like can take it, and they can match it with anyone, but not on their day they're bad. They're really bad, especially defensively. They lack a bit of ticker, and they're good at home at the Gold Coast, but when they travel they're really poor. And it's hard to say because like you've got Tino and a few of these guys in the back row who've actually showed like a bit of grit. Like Beau Fermor, I thought he was great last year. Chris Randall was pretty good last year, and a few of these guys. But I don't know. I think when you compare their squad to a couple of the others, and again, new coach, new system, a lot of things going on behind the scenes, I just think it takes a little bit of time to adapt. So I hope they do good. I really like them as a club, but unfortunately, I've got them in 15th position this year. Mm-hmm. On to 16th, second last position. This is the North Queensland Cowboys for me this year.
Yep.
I didn't love them last year. I think they've arguably got worse this year with the loss of Reece Robson, the quality in the middle. Look, they've replaced him with Reed Marnie, which is probably like a pretty fair replacement. But
short man syndrome.
Yeah, Reed Marnie's got some penalties and some errors in his game for sure. And when you look at their forward pack, like they've got Jason Taumalolo starting with Griffin Neame. Say what you want about that. You got John Bateman in the second row. You got Matt Lodge, who they've just signed.
There's just no way they can start Johnny Bateman, surely.
Oh, I think they will, because I don't know who else they got. Like, I think Lukey should be getting started, but a little bit injury prone coming off that ACL.
They've got the big red dog at 5'8", Jake Clifford.
Yeah, Cliff. There's some talk about Purdue at half. They might try that at the season if the season's not going good. But again, they do have quality mixed in, but the 1 to 17, I think it just lacks a little bit to be desired. Defensively, they suck. Offensively, they're hit or miss. I like Toddy Payton as a bloke. I'm a Townsville native. Okay, I live there.
You spent there.
I lived there for 2 years, so I'm a native, and I like the place. They'll probably beat teams when they go up there because it's so hot. But I think when they travel, they're going to lose Tommy Dearden in Origin season, so you can almost write off those 3 games effectively he's missing.
Dino.
They're a good team. They got quality, but I don't think they got quality through the 17. I think they're going to have a tough year, and I think they're going to come 16th position this year. And that leads me to the 17th position. Last position in the competition this year for me is going to be the Manly Sea Eagles. Yep, I've got them in last. They just...
Jeez, I thought I was like touch and go with them being 4th last, but you've just gone straight to the spoon.
No.
I'm happy to hear it. Go, please.
Look, and they could prove me wrong this year because like...
How though?
Well, the signing of Fogarty for DCE is a pretty like-for-like trade. Like, they both got great kicking games. DCE obviously more established and over a longer period of time. But
Fogarty way more attractive.
Fogarty's a way hotter bloke, way less like in terms of culture.
Yeah,
probably
true.
gets around the boys in the sheds and, gets on the beers after and stuff like that. Probably drink drives, just gets around it. Mm-hmm. But they're just... I just can't put my finger on them this year. I think their forward pack looks really average. Like, they've had a lot of turnover in terms of roster. They were the club that had the most turnover in roster, and that's because, they let a few older guys go and whatnot. But I don't know. They've got Lachlan Croker. I think Lachlan Croker retired. I don't even think he's starting. I don't even know who's going to play dummy half from. I think it's Jake Simcombe. Then you've got Nathan Brown, Kobe Hetherington coming off the bench.
Nathan Brown was so bad in the trial on the weekend.
Bro, they're just over the hill. Hetherington is the one of the dumbest players I've ever seen. Even Jake Turbo, you touched on it.
You talking about Jack Hetherington?
No.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. I was gonna say
The
Jackson
other one.
Manley. Yeah.
The other one.
Sorry.
And then you've got Jake Turbo, who arguably had his worst year last year, concussion central.
He's not a good player.
And where's he going to be? He's on big coin. I thought Ben Turbo had a good year last year. Then you've obviously got Tommy Turbo, who's going to miss a few games this year with injury, as typical. And I think they're going to be in trouble when he does. I just don't like it. I think they've got young blood coming through, obviously, with Joey Walsh and a few of these guys who probably will, come good in the next couple of years. I just think this year is going to be really tough for him. I think Seibold's on the outer. I'm going to be surprised if Seibold makes it through the year, to be honest.
Okay.
I think he's the coach that's in the headlines and he's in the targets. Between him and Toddy Payton this year, I think they're both going to have pretty tough years. And I'm calling Manly Sea Eagles for the spoon this year.
Love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
So there you go. That is our NRL bottom four for 2026. Love it or hate it, let us know below. But
Get that into you.
yeah, I mean, people are going to hate it. Obviously, we're knocking people's clubs. That's the fucking nature of the game.
Hey, but our clubs were both once upon a time too.
Yeah.
I didn't have a fucking club to support for once upon a time because
Yep.
they kicked us out of the fucking comp.
But not now.
But not anymore. We're
not
riding
now.
highs.
Exactly right. And on a more positive note, shall we talk about our NRL top four teams for 2026?
Sure, because all four of mine are South Sydney. Let's start
That's
with that.
good. All right, boys and girls, here you go. NRL 2026 top four teams.
Sure.
Doug, 4-1. What do you got?
All right, my top four NRL teams 4-1, and it pains me to say this, but I'm completely unbiased NRL fan.
Love that.
And in fourth, I have the mighty Sydney Roosters. You cannot argue they've got a shitload of talent.
Sure do.
They are very consistent, and when they've got a full squad on the park, preferably I would like them all to do an ACL this year from 1 to 17, and I mean that. I mean that. But they won't, unfortunately.
They could.
They are dangerous, and of course, you can't deny the fact that they've got probably one of my all-time, and again, it pains me because there's so many Roosters players over the years that I dislike.
Yep.
I've always loved Teddy.
Yeah.
And he's f***ing good.
Yeah, he's hard to
I
hate.
would give my left testicle to have him at South, to rewind and have his career at South.
He's very hard to hate.
Hard to hate because he just does everything you want your players
And
to do.
he's not really a grub either. He doesn't. He's not too much off
Anytime
field.
anyone makes a break, who's there?
Yeah.
Teddy.
Yep.
Teddy who's not there for South, Latrell. And that's the complete difference between the two. But that's a whole other argument.
Yeah.
I love Teddy.
Yep.
I hate the Roosters, but that's spine with DCE, Teddy,
Sam Walker,
and
Robbo now.
Robbo, that's a good-looking
Yeah.
spine.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
as in good-looking, and they play well too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've got Roosters at fourth. In third position, I've got the Penrith Panthers.
The pennies.
Yeah, I feel like it's the same point as last year's predictions. I'm not going to be shocked if I see them as minor premiers. They're a very cool and calculated outfit. When they're on, they are hard to score against, and they are hard to defend. They've got great attacking options, both sides. I love their wingers and outside backs, McLean, Tago, Tungo, if you will, and Alamotti had an awesome year last year.
He's a beast.
He is so good, and I'm happy he's at Penrith. Again, I used to hate Penrith, but now that Jerome Luai and Spencer Leniu have gone, I actually think I like them a lot more.
Yeah. Sounds racial.
And it's definitely not racial. Definitely is not racial. Nathan Cleary being available for the first few games of the year obviously is going to be good for them because they've got a pretty stiff draw. I believe they've got Storm, Broncos, and Roosters.
I think they got one of the harder draws in the league.
Definitely got one of the harder draws in the league for sure. But look, they're going to be hard to beat like they have been for the last 6-7 years.
Mm-hmm.
In second, and again, this one, take the dagger out of my stomach because I cannot say this without feeling sick. The Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs
The doggies.
will finish second this year for mine. They're going to try and do one better than last year and make the grand final.
Put the pitchforks away.
Put the pitchforks away, Bankstown, please. I am one of you. I love a food truck
We
late
love
at
Belmore.
night. I love Belmore.
Yeah.
I actually, in the year 2000, true story, I went shopping with my mother. I was only a 3-year-old at the time, and I won Best Eyes at the Bankstown Central Mall. It's true. To be fair, the demographic, there's a lot of brown eyes, a lot of green eyes. I was the only one with blue eyes in the competition, but that is a true story. So shout out Bankstown Metro.
Like that.
And also shout out Bankstown McDonald's. Used to love a shit there on the way to work. Getting sidetracked.
Yep.
They have a great 17. They lacked a little bit of finals footy experience, I think, the last couple of years, besides obviously your Burtons and your Stephen Crichtons. Having that experience last year and what it felt like to get knocked off. How good is it feeling getting knocked off?
I love that.
Love that.
Hang on, how do you feel that?
I love getting knocked off. They will look to go one better. And I just think they're a good team. Defensively, really sound. If they can get things going on the attacking end, going to be hard to beat, but more importantly, hard to score against.
Do you reckon... I've got a question before you keep it moving.
Sure.
Do you think that Matt Burton sees the year out in 5/8? What do you think?
I 100% think so.
Yeah.
Because they glaze him too much about his kicking game.
Yeah.
Hey, NRL fans, get over it. You can kick a ball good. I mean, the ball is synthetic and made of air. Everyone blows it. Matt Burton's put up a bomb. Mate, watch your game of AFL where the real talented footsmen are. I mean, Birdo kicks one bomb a game. He's he has to be the Origin 5'8".
Yeah,
he can kick a high ball.
I'm just curious because they got that Mitch Woods coming through who they got huge raps
but
on.
outside of a fucking high ball and some conversions, what's Matt Gurton? What's Matt Burton actually good at?
Yeah, well, that's why I think they might experiment with him at centre, but then it's do you get Sherry out of the team? He's not going to get Crichton.
I think their back five are solid
or do you put one of the guys to fullback, whether it's Burton or Kiraz?
I like Tracy at fullback.
I know, but he's arguably the weak point in their team, right? Like you've got Crichton, who's the elite guy. You got Birdo, who everyone loves. You got Galvin. You know, probably not going to move him too much unless it's like a back row or something. He is the odd guy out. I think if they start the year a little bit weirdly, I think they could move a few chess pieces. To be honest,
I would be surprised, but I just feel like they've touted this guy as this 5'8" talent.
Yeah, sure.
He can run the ball. He's got a good kicking game.
Yeah.
He's more fit for 5'8" than fullback.
Fair enough.
But what I know.
Yep. Sorry to get sidetracked. Continue.
No, thank you. That's a good conversation.
Yep.
And unfortunately, I've gone the Broncos. The Brisbane Broncos will go back-to-back. They're going to farewell season with Adam Reynolds, the prestigious and almighty once upon a time Rabbitoh, and now the former/new Rabbitoh, Hakeem Haas.
Welcome.
So he'll enjoy his last season at the Broncos with the premiership.
Yep.
I think if Reece Walsh is fit this year, he's going to be hard to beat for Dally M.
Yeah.
Payne Haas will win prop of the year, Dally M prop of the year.
AFB and into the chat. Continue.
Yep, and AFB, very overrated. Let's get into most overrated players in the comp next week because he'll be my number one. But they're back, the Brisbane backline, they've got blokes that are interchangeable. They work really well. Their halves, Benny Hunt in the hooker. I mean, mind you, they will rely on Reno being fit for most of the year.
True.
And what they'll do when he isn't fit, I'm not too sure. I'll leave that up to Madge.
I suppose that's where the dozer comes in.
True.
That's where the dozer in the 9 comes in.
True. I guess we'll leave that up to Michael Maguire at the end of all of this.
That's what he gets paid to do.
But look, they're a strong team, hard to beat at home on a fast track. And to be honest, I just don't see them dropping out of the 4, and I think they're going to win it again.
Yep. That's your 4. Give it to us 4-1.
That's my 4. I've got Roosters in 4th, Panthers in 3rd, Bulldogs in 2nd, Broncos in 1st. And no, I'm not being held at gunpoint. It's an unbiased opinion, and I believe in it.
That's what you come here for.
That's
you
right.
come here for laughs, you come here for bloke culture, and you come here for unbiased commentary.
If you want me to team, I can do that for Australia. Or I can also pump up the tyres of our own club. And we will. And we do it every week.
Yeah, we will.
But if you ask me a genuine question, for example, South Sydney play the Roosters in round 2. Do I think the Rabbitohs are going to win? Absolutely.
There you go.
There we go.
And that's why you come to Dribble Sport, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here is my 2026 NRL top 4. Starting at 4th. And music to your ears, music to the man to my right's ears. No. It's the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Have not.
It's the South Sydney Rabbitohs. I left
South out of my 4, but you put them in.
It's the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Because it's unbiased commentary.
It's exactly right. It's what you come here for.
Thank you.
And look, I think they've recruited, honestly, the best in the league, to be honest with you, in the entire NRL, in the offseason. I think they've got the...
Keep going, I'm nearly done.
I think they've definitely recruited really, really well in the offseason. Obviously, the inclusion of Dave Fafita into the back row is still yet to be seen, but I think he's going to have a massive year, to be honest. Latrell into the centres is a masterstroke. You can't be... He can get away with being a bit lazy there, to be honest, and Jai Gray's this leg speed from the back will be great. You look at that left edge, you got... Cody Walker into Tallis Duncan, who again is a guy who I think going to have another good year. He developed last year, and I think he's going to keep developing.
Good player.
Onto Big Trell, onto AJ. I think that left side is going to be unstoppable. Tavita Totola and Keon in the forward pack is pretty solid. Keon specifically, obviously.
Keon is going to have 20 runs a game for 150 metres. And
Yep.
Totola, what I've seen in the trials, it looks as fit as ever looked. I think with the pressure of the forward pack that South is starting to develop,
Yep.
it's made sort of Junior go, all right, let's fucking knuckle down here.
And they've also got they have really good depth like across the board, right? Because, say Jai Gray somehow goes down. Latrell,
Have you heard our season last year? Everyone's
exactly,
gonna go
but they've even got more this year because you got Bud Sullivan on the sideline who can fill in anywhere in that, halves, back, anywhere there. You got Kepi, who probably won't start the season, but he's decent enough that he can fill in for some weeks if needed.
Can I throw you off with a question?
Yes.
Sorry to sidetrack you.
Yeah.
Where does Bud Sullivan fit into this team with the success of Ashton Ward of late?
Yeah.
And also, like the last trial against Manly, Humphreys came off. Mind you, he's suspended for the start of the season, but he came off the bench and was great. Set up a try that Latrell scored and
100%.
defended really well. He's a unit. But Ashton Ward was the dominant half for South. Like, where does Bud Sullivan fit into this team?
Yeah.
If it's a 14 role, then does Ward not start? I think South would be stupid to not have Ward in the 17.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting question. I think you can rule Cody Walker out for probably 4 to 5 weeks at least this year. Yeah. Just an old boy, string, whatever it is.
Yep.
I think he will go down at some point, or they'll rest him, or whatever it is. He'll spend some time on the sideline, and that's where I think you blood a guy like give Ashton Ward some more game time, and then you have Bud Sullivan in the 14, and then you got Brandon Smith and Mamazelis, obviously the Greek freak, who again just great depth, can interchange no matter what happened. Maybe Brandon Smith goes into the back row if Jai Arrow gets injured or something like that.
Yep.
They just got depth across the board, so I think Ashton Ward is probably the and Bud Sullivan are the odd guys out to start the season. But that doesn't mean they're going to end the season as the odd guy out. Okay. And then on top of that, you got Munro, Tass, Ed Cozzy from the Warriors who they've signed in the back row. So injury, and even Jonah Glover in the halves as well. Yep. You got halves depth coming out the arse. It's really impressive 17, and I think the second year of Bennett's coaching has always been better than the first. I think that the squad's going to develop. I love their depth. I love their attacking prowess, to be honest. I think they're going to be good.
You're a good mate.
I think they're going to be good.
You didn't have to say all that. I didn't pay to do that either, but I appreciate that.
So I've got South in fourth,
Sure.
And I'm pretty confident they have a much, much better year than they did last year.
Yep.
Now, into third place, I am locking in the Brisbane Broncos.
Bronx?
Yep. That's not to say they don't win this year, because I think they're going to go very, very deep. But that is to say...
Say that again?
That's not to say they don't win the grand final, but they're going to be going very deep into the year this year.
I do love it when someone goes deep.
Yeah. As you said, halves depth, a little bit questionable, but Ben Hunt can fill in. And they obviously got Tom Duffy from the Cowboys, not Jonah Pezzett, as I was imagining in my mind. That's next year.
Yes, that's correct.
That's next year. So they got a little bit of depth there. Billy Walters will come back from the ACL at some point. But there's just too much quality in that team not to be good again this year. Second year under Madge. The preseason obviously helped them last year. You could see it towards the end of the year. They came home with a wet sail. A lot less off-field drama, you would think, this year, with obviously the Ezra thing and the Madge thing behind the scenes and all that sort of stuff. I think they'll be confident after last year. The forward pack is unbelievable. Even though they have arguably, I don't think their second row is great. Peter Kura and Ricky, I don't think they're prime.
They're kind of like just toilers, aren't they?
Yeah, really? I don't think they're prime second rows. I think you can name a lot of better second rows throughout the landscape of NRL, but they make it work. Obviously, their backline is unbelievable, with Shiba having a huge year last year, Katoni, then they got my Pookie, Grant Anderson on the pine, just waiting to get a start. So Reece Walsh, Star. It's just hard to see him not being top four. So I got him third. In second position, and this is why you come here, unbiased commentary. It's the mighty Cronulla Sutherland Sharks. Unbelievable draw, as always. Easy draw.
How the fuck do they always get the softest draw?
Easy fucking draw. We have minimal squad changes. We have young youth who are being blooded last year, who are going to be way better this year. You got halves depth as well, which I was a little bit worried about, but you got Trindle, Hines. You got the Purus on the sideline, the Purus, who play for the Kiwis all the time. One of them's a back row, one of them's a half.
But where is your X factor? This is my question I've had for the Sharks for the last few years.
Yes.
Brayley is incredible. He'll make his 50 tackles.
He couldn't play State
Nico
of Origin
is good,
this year.
but gets a bad rap. I'm not a big Nico hater. I know you have your questions because obviously you're a Sharks fan, so that makes sense.
Allowed.
Like I do with my South players.
Very allowed, yep.
But Trindle, very good player also, but I mean they just don't have someone like a real pizzazz. That's just my. They're a bit.
They're a bit bland.
They're a bit ill.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I think that literally...
Did I just say that?
I think that comes down to Nico Hines, to be honest. The guy's on upwards of $1 million a year. He's the star player, and unfortunately, he doesn't often deliver as the star player should, and he lacks a little bit of what do you call it? X factor or clutch factor or.
And I know what that's like, Frank, being on that much money and being the star player of your team.
I get
it is hard.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day,
that's why you get the big bucks.
That's why you get the big bucks. And if you
100%.
can't perform, it's time to move on.
100% agree. I thought maybe in the offseason they might have thought about putting him to the 7 and looking to make like a signing, but I think it's just there's too many chess pieces to move. And I think Trindle had a great year last year. I just think this is the year that they have to make something happen. And they've got the easy draw. They've got another year of development, like I said, of these young guys like your Jesse Colhoun, your Billy Burns.
He looks good.
All those guys coming off the pine. Liam Eisen from some fullback depth, if Kennedy goes down or isn't playing great or anything like that. Kennedy. And then you got Stone Street, who I'm a big fan of on the wing. Kale Iro is going to have another huge year. Michael Gabriel should be getting blooded over Jesse Ramian, which will happen at some point. And then you got the AFB, the forwards. I just think the list looks great, 1 to 17. Mm-hmm. I think if they can just be a touch more clutch through Nico Hines, it's hard not to see him go deep again. So I got him in the second position.
Sure.
And I think this is the year that we get past the prelim final, hopefully.
So you've butted me up by putting South in fourth just to put the Sharks in
It's unbiased commentary. It's why the people come here.
Okay.
And in first position, I think it's going to be the Sydney Roosters. Oof. As much as it pains us to say it, you look at that 1 through 17.
I'm looking at it right now.
I am also. You look at the depth on the extended pine. It's elite, man. Their spine, as you mentioned, is so good. Like, if Sam Walker is literally just focusing on the running game, like taking the line on, or just being dangerous close to the line, and lets DCE organise kicking game, etc. Me, they are going to be deadly.
How many minutes do you reckon Spencer Lenny averaged last year?
Oh, probably 40.
40 minutes?
Yeah.
I was thinking about 8. 6 more than me.
20 and 2 halves, so 40 maybe.
Yeah, fair enough.
Something like that. But you got the two towers on the wings. They're so good. They're so hard to stop, man. No one getting to Wasi and Tupou. The kicking game to them. Then you got Toya, Billy Smith, Teddy at the back. They've added Reece Robson. They've got Naf White, who had a huge year last year.
I like him too.
I like him, man. The last year for Angus Crichton. Look, Victor Radley's probably got a big year ahead of him. Like, this could be the year that he retires from head knocks, potentially.
Maybe he should retire from drinking out in the pit.
That probably would help his game also. But you got Connor Watson as well, and just a few guys that just look pretty decent, like Blake Steep and Nat Butcher had good years last year. They just got real good depth. Offensively, they're unbelievable. I think they're going to be even better this year. Yeah. So I think if they can just make their defense a touch better, they're going to be really hard to stop this year. So I've got them in first position. So in fourth to first, I've got fourth Rabbitohs, third Broncos, second Sharks, and first the Sydney Roosters, as much as it pains us to say it.
It's like knives to a plate.
It is. So let us know what you think of our top and bottom 4 teams for the NRL 2026 season below. Let us know what you think. Are we dumb? Are we geniuses? Are we going to regret these?
Let's have a constructive argument. Yeah, and Frank and I will show you why we're right and you're wrong.
And maybe we'll address a few comments next week.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll love that.
We'll touch on you let us know your top 4 in the comments and why, we'll touch on a few of them. Yeah, we'll touch on why they're wrong next week.
Yep.
But that is the NRL 2026 top 4 and bottom 4.
Yeah, beautiful. Love that.
I also think, should we do our most overrated and underrated teams for the NRL quickly?
Sure. You go first.
Do you want to start with underrated or overrated?
Underrated.
Okay. My most underrated team for the 2026 NRL season is the Redcliffe Dolphins.
That's right.
It's the Redcliffe Dolphins. I think they're going hugely under the radar. I think they are going hugely under the radar. They've got a great offensive team. They showed it last year. They were the number 1 offensive team by a country mile. Mm-hmm. And particularly in that second half of the season, they looked great. They were coming home with the wet sail, but they just missed out. Isi Katoa, this is the year I think that he really, really steps on the gas. Potentially gets an origin berth for New South Wales. We'll see what happens, but I think this is the year that he really puts belt to ass. You look at that back line with obviously Herbie. Hammer's probably going to be playing centre with Trey Fuller at fullback. You got Selwyn Cobbo there now. Asako on the other wing, kicking goals. Cody Nikorima had another great year last year. The forward pack is, honestly, I think it's underrated. Like, you look at some of the names, Saifidi, Flegler, Gilbert, haven't got much game time over the last couple of years. If they can go, they're going to be dangerous. And then you're adding guys like Max Plath, Kurt Donahue, who can fill in a lot of gaps.
Plath back from injury early.
Plath back from injury. Yeah, correct. Kurt Donahue, I'm a massive fan. I've got that dog in him. And then you got guys like Brad Schneider for some halves depth. Ray Stone's a battler. Oren Keeley had a good year last year. Connolly Lemuelu. Their forward pack is good. Their backline is really good. Offensively, they're unbelievable. Defensively, if they can just pick it up a touch, I think they're going to be really good. So I got them on the cusp of the 4. I think they'll be 4 to 6, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And I don't see many people talking about them. So they are my most underrated team for 2026. Who's yours?
My most underrated team?
Who is your most underrated team for 2026?
Look, I was tossing it up between 2 clubs, and one of them being the Canberra Raiders.
Okay.
And to be honest, I think I'm going to lock them in now. I've thought about it because it seems that everyone's just, as soon as this last year they've had this good year, everyone's expecting the drop off, the loss of Fogarty. But to me, I still feel like they've got a really good, like tight-knit unit, a lot of young talent. I mean, Joe Tarpany had a great year last year. And to be honest, I just think that people are just, like you said, they're just not being spoken about at all, potentially because they're in Canberra.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it, right? Because they finished minor premiers. They went out in straight sets, obviously, in the finals.
That's right. And how good was Hudson Young all of last year?
Yep.
Like, I mean, take out Fogarty, who obviously is a big loss. And I think Ethan Sanders is the one who's going to slot into that halfback spot.
Should, yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah, should.
But like...
With him and Strange. That'll be good.
That's what I mean. But how much of a... they were still a pretty exciting team. They defended well. And they managed to just score well. Like, especially through their back rowers.
Yeah.
Like, all the pommy back rowers they've got there. You know what I mean? And that's... For mine, I just think no one's talking about Canberra Raiders. People haven't even got... A lot of the experts haven't even got them in their top 8. And I think it would be rude to assume they wouldn't make the top 8 for mine. So my most underrated team for this year is the Canberra Raiders. I just think that there's still a lot of talent there. People seem to forget about talking about them. I just think they've got what it takes to make the 8 at least. I wouldn't be surprised if I see them 5 to 6 as well.
Yeah, it's fair enough. They're definitely not getting talked about much after the year they had last year, for sure. I would agree with that. So not a bad call. We'll see how that one lands.
Yeah.
And now...
Unfortunately,
yes,
I'm going to roll into mine again because only just because you've just spoken about this team.
Go for it.
I've got Dolphins being most overrated, which again, we've gone against each other here. You've said they're the most underrated. I've said they're the most overrated. They haven't made the finals. I don't think that's going to change. They do have some good players mixed in there, and again, like you said, they are designed to score tries. They do score a lot.
You want to talk X Factor? We can talk X Factor.
They've got X Factor as a group, I think.
They got X Factor in the names, baby. Issika Toa, Hammer, Herbie.
Herbie's not an X Factor player.
Could be. He's arguably a top 3 centre in the league.
Hammer?
No, Herbie.
Oh, Herbie.
Herbie's a top 3 centre in the league for mine.
Yeah, last year we had this argument and I said no. And he played an absolute outstanding year. And now I would say he is. Yeah, for sure.
You've got Crichton, him...
Campbell Graham. Latrell Mitchell.
On the wing. Kaoliro. Kaoliro,
yeah, sure.
So,
there's a lot out there.
Yeah.
But like I said, the Dolphins just sort of get put up as these like unsung heroes. Everyone wants them to do well. I just don't think they're all that, to be honest.
Fair enough.
But in the big games, they just get beaten.
That's your opinion. That's fine.
And round 1 will be an example of it. Mark my words.
Shall we put a handshake bet on this then?
Sure.
What do you want to do? Top 8? Dolphins make top 8?
Nah, I feel like I can get better odds than sports bet for that.
Okay.
I feel like Dolphins are paying about $1.70 to make the 8.
Okay, so what would you like to handshake bet then?
I don't know. You offered the bet.
Top 7?
6.
I feel like I'm not getting value here.
Well, hey, you offered the bet. I'm not taking top 8.
Roll the tape back. Roll the tape back. Can you just open your phone and show me the notes quickly that you've written down by any chance?
On Dolphins?
Yeah.
I don't have money on Dolphins.
I think your phone notes would tell you differently.
What? What do you mean?
I think if we ran back 24 hours, we would...
Did I say top 8?
Yes.
Oh, true. No, to be fair, I did look at Sportsbet at the pub last night. That may have differed it. Yeah, top 6 I'll give you, but that's about it.
I'll go top 6. I don't give a fuck.
All right.
Dolphins make top 6 this year. Handshake bet, $100.
Actually, I think it's in my phone already as top 8.
It is,
so if it is, I'll take it on top 8. But
right.
on podcast, because it's on film, the real footage,
Yeah.
take it top 6. There's 2 extra spots in my phone.
How about we go 100 each way? 100 on top 8 and 100 on top 6. If they make top 8, 100. If they make top 6, another 100. If they make 1, push.
Yeah, I like that.
Done. There you go. So for anyone who's confused, $200 on the line. If they make top 8, $100. If they make top 6, another $100.
Yep.
If they only make 1, push.
Yep.
If they make none, $200.
Sure.
Simple game.
I can think of 6 teams better than the Dolphins already.
Okay, good to know.
Yep, just so you know.
I'm going to go my most overrated team for the NRL 2026 season, and this might catch a few people off guard. And not that I don't think they're a good team, because I do. I think they're a brilliant team and they're a brilliant system. It's the Melbourne Storm. It's the Melbourne Storm. I think they've got a few chess pieces on the board that have been moved, and I think that it's going to take a little bit of time to adapt and to come good. That's not to say they won't be there at the end of the season, because I think they have the quality to do that. It's just I think they're going to have a little bit of a slow start throughout the year. So obviously you got Eli Katoa ruled out for the year, huge blow in the second row, and then you got you're replacing him with a guy like Lasardi, who him and Blore, if that's your strike pairing on the edge, you've lost quite a bit of quality compared to Eli Katoa. And then obviously the new news of Xavier Coates gone down with the Achilles for 3 months. That's half a season, effectively.
Yep. Moses Leo.
Who fills in? Moses Leo.
He'll get first crack, I reckon.
Could be, threw Wishart on the wing sometimes last year. I mean, you can't waste him on the wing, but could be him. I bet you they're missing my Pookie Grant Anderson right about now.
Yeah, interesting one, that one.
The expert gap filler. But you got Sua Farlongo, obviously, with Pappenhausen gone, who's now the new fullback. Again, it's not that I think he's a bad player. I think he's really fun and really exciting. He'll be really good. But he's small. We haven't seen him against a lot of teams. I think they're going to test him, and I think it'll be interesting to see how he deals with that. It's hard to say, obviously, with Munster and Hughes. Like that halves pairing is just so elite, and Harry Grant in the 9. But I don't know. I think the forward pack leaves a little bit to be desired. They don't have like a huge amount of depth in the halves. You got Trent Tolau. If Trent Tolau is your sort of backup behind Tyron Wishart, I don't know. I don't love it. So I don't know. I just think they came second last year. They pushed for a minor premiership, and then they lost in the grand final. I think they arguably had better squads in the last couple of years, and they haven't been able to clinch it. I don't think this is the year they do it again. So,
very in depth.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I just think not that I think they're a bad team. I just think they're getting talked about like an automatic top 3, top 4, and I'm not convinced they are. I think they could be a 6, 7, 8, potential around there. So, NRL most overrated team for 2026. It's the Melbourne Storm.
Sure, I love it. I love the in-depth description there. I pretty much basically just went off the teams that I don't like hearing the name of. Dolphins, overrated.
Fair enough, and that's fine. And that's, again, why you come to Dribble Sport.
That's right.
It's the two sides of the coin. All right, ladies and gentlemen, like we said, let us know in your comments below. Are we wrong? Are we right? Are we idiots? Are we geniuses? Who are you backing for all those 4 topics? Let us know. We'll address a few of them on next week.